Well, Shawky Amine Eddine is the Humanitarian Affairs Advisor at the International Committee of the Red Cross in Lebanon. He joins us now live from Beirut. Good to have you with us. So what does it mean for the Lebanese capital when an Israeli strike damages the largest public hospital in the city?
Good evening. Let me start by saying this. Hospitals are beacons of hope and sanctuaries of human life. They are places where lives are meant to be saved. And that's why under the international humanitarian law, the hospitals and medical personnel assigned exclusively for medical purposes must be respected and protected. The International Committee of the Red Cross is one of the actors that are actually present in Rafiq Hariri University Hospital. We have deployed a surgical team there to establish a trauma center in order to care for the wounded and to relieve some of the healthcare professionals who have been responding nonstop for the past couple of weeks. And then we are still there, we are still working. And I would take this chance to again remind all parties of the conflict of their obligations under humanitarian law, that they must respect these obligations, that hospitals must be spared, that doctors must be spared, that nurses must be spared, because they cannot save lives while they are worrying for their own.
Well, it doesn't seem like Israel's thinking is going in that direction, does it? We've seen not only what happened, the strikes close to the Rafiq Hariri University Hospital, but we've seen the Israeli strike on a Sahel private hospital amidst Israeli claims it sits atop of Hezbollah riches in the underground levels. I mean, how worrying is that? How disruptive is that for health workers when hospitals are targeted based on those kinds of claims which can be put out?
Again, when it comes to hospitals, the IHL, the International Humanitarian Law, is very clear. It says that hospitals and medical personnel who, again, are working there, who are providing exclusive medical services, they should be protected. So far, unfortunately, there has been several direct or indirect, so there have been over 13 hospitals that have been partially or completely out of service. As per the Lebanese Ministry of Public Health, there have been over 100 fatalities among the healthcare professionals, again, as per the Lebanese Ministry of Public Health. And here it's very important, again, to bring to the attention of all parties to the conflict, to remind them that these specific groups are protected under IHL, and again, they must be respected. Their work must be facilitated in order to provide help and to provide support to those in need. This is a very, very important thing, because these, again, people, they are there to save lives. It's very hard. And as a doctor myself, I can tell you that it's very hard for a doctor to be trying to save the lives of others while he or she is worrying about their own. It's very hard for a paramedic to try to rescue a patient while they are worrying about their own life.
You mentioned 13 hospitals which have been disrupted or destroyed. What does that mean for communities? Are people literally not able to get medical help they need now?
Well, that's a very concerning issue. When we talk about 13 hospitals that have been partially or completely out of service, this means that the civilian population that benefits from the services provided by these hospitals do not have access to essential healthcare services, which might be life-saving, especially in hard times and difficult times like the ones we're seeing in Lebanon. And this adds to the complexity and to the suffering of the Lebanese population, with almost 1.2 million people now displaced, already struggling to have access to essential needs. And then on top of it, struggling to find access to healthcare services. Of course, that adds to the humanitarian suffering and to the dire humanitarian situation that we are seeing in Lebanon.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on what's happening. Shawky Amine Eddine there from the International Committee of the Red Cross in Lebanon.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.